Hello, good morning. It is me. I am Sonia. I'm so excited. Our book comes out in less than a week. I can't believe it. I'm so excited. I feel like pre-order it, get on it. You can head over to our site. We have a free mini course also that we give to everybody who pre-orders it because we're just so incredibly grateful and for all of your support. But today I want to talk to you about something super important, and that's coming out of the closet. And I mean coming out of the closet in the sense of really just coming out of the psychic closet. Because I find so often that we don't talk about it. We don't really talk about our spiritual practices, whatever that may be, meditation, yoga, dancing, dance church, whatever, about our vibes, about how we are feeling in the world. I mean, it's just something that I can see, and it's even funny because coming from an intuitive family, coming from a place where I was so incredibly nurtured, one of my things that my mom always taught Sabrina and I was never assume anything about anyone. And it's so true because so often, especially when we live an intuitive life, we can think that other people just might not get it. They're just not gonna get where I'm coming from. It's gonna be weird. What if? But so often I find that people get it way more than we give it credit for. And even me, hi Cookie. Even me, for a really long time, I was closeted. I was a closeted intuitive. My sister Sabrina was completely the opposite. She was totally out in the world, was always marched to the beat of her own drum, but was all about it. But me, I really wanted to blend in. I was somebody that really genuinely felt a little scared to be out there. And so for a really long time, I wouldn't talk about my intuition. I wouldn't talk to my friends about doing readings. I mean, I started doing readings when I was like a super kid, and absolutely and even in college, I was mentoring people and would go teach workshops with my mom, and I would have these different books, but I wouldn't tell anyone because I was so afraid that everyone, wouldn't get it, and that I would be judged and it would make me weird. And so I just didn't say anything. And so I would go off and I would be in my room and I'd close the door and I'd have my little clients, and then I would, go to these workshops and be like, oh, I'm just hanging out with my family for the weekend while, I'm on stage doing Breath of Life. If you've ever been to one of my mom's workshops, you'll know what I'm talking about. Probably Google it. But dancing my pants off. And then I would come back to school in college and I would just be like, oh, I'm just normal, no big deal experience. But it felt really incongruent and inauthentic for me because it was just like I had this really super rich, incredible life and all this access to all these great tools, but I was so afraid of letting people know that I closeted myself. And then around my senior year, I decided that I would just forget it. I'm just gonna tell my friends, tell the people around me about, living an intuitive. My mom is an A. But so many people were like, yeah, I already know, I got it. And B, people were also actually super excited. And a lot of people, would come and talk to me about their intuitive experiences or their different things or their gut feelings. They would come in and be like, oh, let me tell you about this one time that I got a vibe, or that this cool thing happened to me, or, and what we do is that once we come out of the closet, not only did everything in my life shift, not only did I feel more in alignment with myself, but I really gave people permission to also come out of the closet. And I find really often that we can make assumptions that people just won't get where we're coming from. And it's so incredibly wrong. I mean, just the other day, I went and had dinner with some friends, and there was a woman who I had known from a really long time, and we've had some weird experiences together. And so I'm sitting down at dinner, and I wasn't gonna mention my book, and I was just kind of feeling protective about all of it. And dinner kind of wears on, we're having a lovely time, we're talking about all of these different things, and all of a sudden, we started talking about meditation and the power of meditation. And then we got into connection, and then we started talking about intuitive experiences and guides and all of these different things. And it was such a beautiful reminder to me that I don't know that it can be so often that we just assume that we think that somebody's not gonna get it, but that's so not true. And, and the thing is like living a life that comes from, an authentic life requires courage. And that means really sometimes going against the grain and being okay to be uncomfortable. So often we mistake being uncomfortable for being in danger. And they're really not the same thing. It just means that we're just needing to grow a little bit. And another thing is that, I find a lot that if we run up against people who might not be on our channel, which is totally fine. If I meet somebody who just is very left brain, doesn't get it, that's okay. I just decide that I'm not going to explain myself. I don't need to explain my guidance. And even with friends or anyone who's just like might not totally be as aware, but if you just decide to give yourself permission to not explain yourself, it gives you a lot more room for yourself, because it's really not about the other person, it's about you. And, nowadays it's so funny because I see this really big call to action of all these people who are writing so many beautiful books and courses about trusting yourself and your authentic voice and all these different things. And for me, I'm like, that's your intuition. Like, that's that intuitive part in you and so it just in the sense of really starting to normalize it. Like, it's totally normal. Everyone's intuitive. We pick up things more than just on our intellectual brains. It happens all the time. And if we just make it more normal, because it is. I mean, so often I feel like everybody's had a moment where they've felt something, had a vibe, and then they're like, it's right. Whether it's about a person, whether it's about an experience, whether it's about anything, but we really have to come back to this place of taking back our own power to live in that authentic heart space and not have to justify it for anyone, whatever you do with it. And, and now more than ever, the reason why Sabrina and I wrote this book is that we have so many beautiful tools. Our intuition, it makes your life, living with your intuitive guides and really connected to who you are, opens up life in so many magical, beautiful ways. It opens up your heart. I mean, it just allows us to connect people to people, spirit to spirit, and helps heal. And so, at this time where we are in the world right now, that's what we need. We need to elevate the vibration. We need to come from that authentic place. So many different things, so many different institutions, and things are just falling apart. I mean, it's not the same world that it was 20 years ago, where you would graduate from college and, get a 9-to-5 job and have this really grounded job security. It's just a different world. And with that world, our most valuable tool that we have is our intuition, coupled with our intellect, coupled with our knowledge. I mean, like I say over and over again, they're really meant to be the best of friends. But when we trust ourselves, when we trust that guidance, when we trust that deeper knowing, it creates magic. And the thing is it's not difficult. A lot of times when we think about guidance or whatever, trusting ourselves, we think that we're going to get something from out here, but we're not. Nothing's coming from here. Everything is coming from here. And that's why it's so important to take that time to tune in and get grounded. It's so important to really trust yourself. And, a lot of times my clients will say, well, am I intuitive? How do you know? Are you sure? And, my first thing I want to say is give yourself permission to trust yourself. Give yourself permission that that you don't need to look to other people to validate what you're feeling. Because often people, who knows what movie they're in. But when we give ourselves that permission, when we say, oh, I have a bad vibe, or, oh, that feels really right for me, or, it's not only empowering, but what it does is it is a place where we take back our power, where we say, I decide. And in the word I, and when we choose, I decide, what happens is, we become responsible for our lives and our decisions, but moreover, that's where the magic happens. When we say it's everyone out there, it's not on me, whatever, what happens is just a big energy leak. I see, you know, some people who feel so incredibly stuck, but they just get so scared to make one decision. And sometimes I think with intuitive guidance, people get worried that that means that you're going to get guidance and to throw away your life and all this stuff, but that's not true. It's just, you know, you get to choose, but a lot of times guidance is a lot of no big deal things. And so, you know, right now where we are of really creating and being in front of this shift is really normalizing and talking about our spirituality. And that can be anything. I mean, for some people, that's just going for a walk and enjoying nature. That can be a spiritual practice. That can be a way to listen and tune in. You know, even meditation, which I talk about and love all the time because I just am obsessed with it. It's such a fabulous tool. But, you know, really what happens when we tune into those places is we start to listen. And right now in our world, we get so caught up in having to have the answers because we so exist in this world of right or wrong. You know, it's like, do you know the answer or do you not know the answer? And because, you know, we are sensitive people, we're sensitive beings. You know, nobody wants to be left behind. Nobody wants to feel left out. Nobody wants to feel stupid or like they're caught on their heels. But when we start to shift out of that place, out of that realm of right and wrong, you know, it not only expands everything, and then we get to go for what feels true for me for now. Where do I get to make these wonderful magical choices? And it's like I said, it's really normal. So let's come out of the closet. Like it's so cramped in there. Like there's like all those stinky coats from whatevs. You can't even dance. You can't do anything. It's dark. Let's get out of there and turn on the light and really start sharing in whatever way feels comfortable for you. You know, for me, I'm like, I was on my intuition, my spirit says, but if that doesn't feel right, if that feels a little too scary, start with baby steps. And more importantly, watch how people respond. Watch how people get it, because people do get it. We don't give each other credit. We really don't. We go and give each other credit. I found myself guilty of that just the other day when I was like, oh, this lady's totally not going to get it. And I was dead wrong. And we had such a beautiful connection. And I just want to remind you of that because, you know, we get protective. Understandably so. I mean, but we get protective, and what happens is that we end up sort of cutting ourselves off. We cut ourselves off from each other. And then when we do connect, it's almost like all of a sudden you're like, you too, you get it too? Oh my God, and it's fun. And then you can start to talk of like, even then, it was like, then we had this whole conversation. We were talking about our guides, we were talking about meditation, we were talking about how we connect with spirit, we talk all sorts of different things. And I had a blast. And so I'm just really wanting you to encourage to come out of the spiritual closet. And moreover, and if you're feeling like you need some help, some tools, but really, you know, of wanting to live this super authentic, exciting life, you know, make a choice. Make a choice to choose you. Make a choice to step out of the paradigms of which we've told that we have to exist. I mean, and moreover, you know, really, it's so fun, and it's the way that we're naturally designed to live. So it's not hard. Our own guidance, connecting back to ourselves, connecting to the universe, is really just a breath away. It's really just one heartbeat away. And you possess every single tool within you to create an incredible, magical life and manifest all of the things that you want and love. And, you know, I'm gonna say, you know, get my sister and I's book. It's a really great, fun book. I mean, it's Chupa, and look at how pretty she is. I love her. Hi. And like I said, you know, head over to our site too if you're like looking for some ways to jumpstart some tools. I mean, we want to give you 1,010,000 different teeny tiny tools that really just help shift everything, because it's not a big deal. Listening to your intuition is not a big deal. Feeling those different things, whether it's somebody in the office or whatever, though you're already picking up on it. You already know. You already need to trust yourself. And really getting that intellect and that intuition, and just even start with telling yourself, if you're struggling, of like, just say, I am intuitive. I do know. I do pick up on more than just is on the intellectual plane. And so today, I want you to just decide and see how it goes. And also maybe just talk to somebody about whatever it is, some little tool that you use, and see how it feels. See how it feels to let yourself come out of the closet. Not for anyone else, not for anybody else's approval, not for their whatever, but just to really allow that part of yourself, if you've been hiding it in some way, to come out and say hi. And see what the shift is. Because, it really, like I said, for me, I was closeted. I didn't want to talk about it. I felt like I just wanted to blend into the wall. But one of my most empowering and magical and fabulous things that have happened from it is that I have given other people permission. And that is such a blessing. And that has given me more and more confidence to be out and live an authentic life in the world. And so I just hope that you guys are having an absolutely fabulous day. I can't believe it, our book is out on Tuesday. Oh my goodness. I feel like please pre-order it. We're so grateful. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for tuning in. You are amazing. Get on Amazon, all the different things. I promise you'll like it. It's funny. It's real. It really talks a lot of specific different things from Sabrina and I's life about our mistakes and how we live. And it's just a different take on it. So I hope you guys are having a fabulous day. Hi, Gemma. Hi, Gabrielle. I love hearing from you guys. And I'm sending you all my love and a giant hug. And bye.